And I'm going to hit record, and it's recording now. Welcome, everyone. You've reached the open house for cars-insurances.com. There's been a lot of interest in this, and I recognize some of the names who are attending. We've done some phone calls with some people. So this is really your best resource, I think, as far as getting a very clear understanding directly from the seller owner of the site as far as the business itself. Jose Castro, thank you for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you, Adam.
Well, a little housekeeping here. The only people who are going to be speaking is Jose and I. Everyone else, if you haven't already done so, just log in and decide if you want to use the audio, the speakers in your computer, or dial in on the phone. Obviously, if you're hearing me speak, you've already done that, but you can be reading number one as well. If you have a question, submit it through the GoToWebinar question functionality. We're going to be addressing questions during the appropriate topic time. So if we're talking about traffic and you have a revenue question, we'll wait till revenue. If we pass the section that the question is pertaining to, we'll ask it at the end. And the reason being is a lot of people come back to these as a resource, and a recording of this will be on Latona's later today. So without further delay, this is what's available for anybody. This is the listing page on Latona's. This is showing the revenue, expenses, the uniques and page views. The uniques are listed here. The page views actually have been corrected, I believe, and that will be looked into later, but we have both of them. If anyone were to go and to click, it's hard to make out, but that's a blue number next to revenue, expenses, and uniques. It'll expand into a monthly graph. Once you do that, you can see the trends, how much each month over the past 12 months the site's done. So you can see trends. It's $190,000 roughly, trailing 12 months of profit. Asking is $160,000. Jose, there's two sections of this that you're going to be doing, Bert, actually all the talking, and that's during this section, history, as well as the admin section, the admin being the section that you sent us screenshots for. So over the past couple minutes, I know the site's only a year and a half or so old, just let us know, hey, this is why I started the business. This is what's happened during the life of the business, albeit a shorter life. Spend about a minute or two just going over the history, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Adam. Okay, so I started this business around a few months, actually, from around, I think 15 months or so ago. So I started actually on another domain, but then I saw that the domain was not relevant, so I decided to purchase cars-insurances.com, which was a lot more relevant to the offer actually. So then I started actually hiring some writers, some authors, to write the articles for the site you're watching here right now. So basically, this site is all about getting people that are interested in auto insurance quotes, as well as getting a lower fee for their insurance. And basically, this site is this has like two basically parts of them. One of them is the one you are watching right now, which is basically the front end, and then there is the back end, which is the one that everything goes on. So basically, the history of the site is most about the lead processing method I actually worked before. So in the meanwhile, while I started this auto insurance business, I actually worked on another project as well, similar to this one. But the thing is that everything is all about processing leads, which is a very interesting method to see business, because everyone just generate leads and then just sell them their products or just sell them to other brokers. What we do here is a little bit more different in that aspect. But yeah, in short, that's the history of the site.
Okay, very good. And I'm just making sure. It looks like we've had some late joiners as well, so pretty full house here. Thank you for that, Jose. And I'm going to move forward. The first, cars-insurances.com, the domain name sees some activity starting in early 2011 per the Wayback. Um, Turning here, analytics. What to use to track traffic? How do you track it?
So usually people try their luck with Google Analytics, but the problem is that Google Analytics doesn't work for me because I cannot track conversions, which Prosper 202 is does. I mean, right now this picture is about tracking 202 or Prosper 202, which is the tracking platform I use to track everything from unique visitors, leads, conversion rates, average payouts, and everything else. So this tracking platform is free. Actually, right now is paid actually, but you can see right now this is the free version I had, so I have to move on to the paid version. But the platform is Prosper 202.
Okay, that's helpful. And you'll see me doing a delay now and again. I'm answering some questions pertaining to this, and that's helpful. So, what are we looking at right now, Jose? This is something you sent us.
Okay, right now we're looking at a very specific um, worksheet I created for Latonas here, which basically goes from September 2015 to through October 2016. It details the revenue, the traffic, and so on, which is very detailed information which you would have to see. Now, one detail here is that revenue usually comes from obviously the leads generated, and the expenses comes from the advertising networks, which is a lot different. Now, I obviously see that in revenue there are no cents because each lead is cost about $12 to $14 in average. Obviously, it goes higher, it goes lower, but the average is around that. So, I mean, I am not paid like for 26 cents, but actually I get paid like 14 exact. So, and obviously the expenses is obviously based on several clicks, factors, and everything else. So yeah, it's a little bit different. Now, obviously I want to see the ROI and conversion rate, which I have to say it's really good ROI for this industry. I mean, we are for every dollar we put in, we get around 2.5 on average back, which is really good. Now, on the leads part, this is very interesting because this is the amount of people that actually give us their details so they can get their insurances, you know, their insurance policies from other brokers and so on. So
Okay.
yeah, this page is really descriptive on the part on the backend and the numbers that goes on. Obviously, this is before taxes, so yeah.
Okay. Uh, what's the spike due to in June? What happened in June of this year, please?
Well, the traffic actually this month it kind of got a little bit better. It converted a little bit better. So we just decided to invest a lot more money in that month, and in the coming months, July and August, it didn't go as well, so we decided to keep it lower. On the other side, to keep it profitable, because if we were to um, buy a lot more traffic like we did in June, we wouldn't get the exact same ROI we would be getting otherwise.
Okay. Just addressing something here. Good. Okay, so admin section. These are things that you sent us. There's a slide here, Jose, and I think what's going to be most helpful for everybody, well, it's been helpful thus far, but there is a specific slide that's going to go through your daily operation of the business. So we're going to have you speak out loud, as you're speaking out loud now, but just kind of to walk us through a day in the life of running this business, right? Um,
Sure.
but you can let us know specifically what we're looking at right now. Um, when you're sitting down and this is a screen you see, what are you actually doing? And then everybody listening realize that upcoming there's going to be, okay, there is that slide where, have him discuss what he does day to day operation wise. But Jose, what are we looking at right now, please?
Okay, right now we're looking at the MySQL database section of the hosting account in my obviously site. So this is a little bit ugly, of course, because this is not intended for the user to see. This is where all the leads are kept. As you can see, I just block some sensitive information from each lead. So basically, what can you get here is are like 50, 55 blocks for each lead. So what we're seeing here is how the leads are stored and how you can export them for the later use, so you can sell them actually. So once the lead is processed, it's going to be here, and then here you are going to go to your hosting account, etc., and then export all the leads so you can sell them later. Okay, so basically this is the where you are watching all the leads. They get here and for later use, of course.
Okay, and again, we've had some people join late. If you want to ask questions, please click the questions functionality in the GoToWebinar. Type it out; it'll get addressed like that. This is being recorded as well. You can refer back. But everybody listening, I want to make sure that as many questions can be addressed right now. That's for your benefit, for Jose's benefit. Let's use our time wisely and get those questions answered. What are we looking at right now, Jose, please?
Okay, right now we are looking at the backend of the WordPress site. These are the articles are written by my authors and so on. So basically, this is where you are going to enter more information, more articles, and so on. But the main part that I didn't send the screenshots of are the native landing pages, which are actually the ones where people arrive from advertising. And these pages are the ones where people land, and then they decide to enter their information or leave, right? So basically, here is where you are going to uh, enter more information, more articles, so people are interested if they ever come back, right? So for that, there is also retargeting ads and also several other announcements, like email list. Right now, I don't have an email list, but you can add one, of course, so they can come to your site, visit them, and obviously enter the information if they're further interested.
Very good. Questions are coming in. They are actually going to be asked now because it's pertaining, well, one of them at least is, because it was pertaining to traffic. I'm going to read this verbatim. Some of these questions, Jose, I have a pretty good understanding of an answer. So, but I'm going to ask these verbatim and then ask if the question was answered appropriately. But this is the verbatim question. This is paid traffic, so what is the traffic source? Certainly not premium display traffic at those CPCs. So go into detail as far as explaining that answer, if you would.
That's correct. It's not premium traffic. The problem is that it's like divided. I did not separate it in the sheet before. So basically, I have three traffic sources. The first one is native advertising, which is from one network, and then the other is from search engine, which is from Bing. Obviously, the percentages are like 80% native, then 10% Bing or so, and then the other 10% is from other pop-up networks. That actually is RTX platform, I believe, which was 15 Red before a few months ago. They changed the name. So obviously the cost per click obviously uh, decreases due to the traffic sources as well. Obviously, that is the average cost per click. It's not the highest cost per click I pay, and it's not the lowest cost per click I pay.
Jose, thank you. And I want to, if that was answered sufficiently or not answered sufficiently, please, the person asking that question, please advise if you would. Um, you've already spoken about this screen. Go ahead and talk and see explain what we're talking about now. There is another, actually, hold off on that because this is pertaining to the traffics page we looked at and is pertaining to traffic. What is the name of the analytics tracking program? I know he said it, but I didn't understand what he said. So just repeat that if you would.
Yeah, it's Prosper 202 or Tracking 202.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The three sources of paid traffic you have, I'll have you repeat them. And Jose, mm, um, I don't speak Spanish too well. I was going to try. Yo hablo un poquito solamente, but and your English is much better than my Spanish. But the sources of traffic, there wasn't an understanding of it. So it's native ads. I know that one. What are the just más despacio, speak a little bit slower and enunciate a bit more. What are the two other traffic sources, please?
Yeah, it's Bing and RTX platform, which is
Okay, so
pop ads.
native ads, Bing search engine, and then what's the third one?
It's RTX platform, which is pop ads.
Pop-up ads.
That's correct.
Okay, and
Pop
that's
ads.
the name of the platform is RTX.
RTX platform. It was 50 on red before.
And I'm sorry, it was what before?
50 on red.
Okay, got it. Okay, so we've got a confirmation that's understood. No more questions as of now. Go ahead and anyone wanting to ask questions, ask them. But I don't see any not answered in the queue. Um, go ahead and describe what we're looking at right now, please.
All right, right now we are looking at the again backend of the WordPress site. Obviously, this is a little bit more interesting view of the site because this requires a little bit more of technical information because we are looking at HTML code and so on. I mean, this is pretty basic, because we are entering the same banner as in the fifth line, I believe, fourth line, sorry. That is where some of our audience will go through so they can enter their information. Obviously, the 15 or so articles in the main site, on the root site, are there for retargeting purposes. I mean, the people that enter those pages are the ones that are being retargeted through Facebook ads. I mean, Facebook ads is like minimum because not every people, not sorry, not everyone um, goes through the page, so they are not retargeted. So the ones that are retargeted go to these pages.
Very good. How about now?
The same thing. I believe I sent you another image. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's the same thing here.
Okay, you may have sent two at the same time. Um, all revenue questions. We have a couple. They're going to be asked here shortly because that section's upcoming. But know that they're going to get asked. What are we looking at right now, Jose? Please.
Okay, right now is the ugly page where the leads are kept. I mean, as I said, these are these are not there for the users to see, so it's a little bit ugly. For as you can see, it's PHP by admin, which is basically MySQL databases and so on, which the leads are kept after submission, of course.
Okay, just making sure that was clear on this end here. Okay, so revenue. I'm going to go ahead and ask the question that was asked already, and this is, we'll go over the graph here in a moment. Question verbatim: where are you selling the leads on a ping post? I'm, you know,
Post and post, I believe.
this could be Bing, but just at this point, just tell us, you get the leads in, and how do you get the leads in, and then go into detail as far as how you're generating this revenue.
All right, so I will go step by step. So basically, we buy traffic from advertising networks I already talked about. Then the traffic arrives to our pages, and then from the pages they go to our lead generation page, which can be cars-insurances.com slash quote. Then they leave their details. Then their details are uh, kept on the SQL database. Once in the database, I just go there and export them. So then I have the file, CSV file with the lead information. And once I have that lead information, I go to the several insurance company brokers and then I enter the information to the pagers. Obviously, I will get graded for several of them. Not every company will pay for all the leads. I mean, that's how business is done. I
Hmm.
mean, but yeah, it's done manually. I do not do hotspot or ping trees or ping posts, which are other methods of submitting the leads, because it's a little bit different, the model I have here, which is a little bit more profitable, of course. But yeah, I do everything manually.
So you're buying traffic so as to get people to your site. People are filling out information. You're selling those leads through how you mentioned through those sources, and each source decides whether they want to buy a specific lead. Is that accurate?
That's correct.
Okay.
Obviously, it depends on a lot of information like DUIs, SR 22, so and information like that. But yeah, in general, is that.
So you covered this, but let I just concisely and the actual sources that you are selling to, you're not selling to, well, correct. Who are you selling to? Are you selling to insurance companies? Are you selling to insurance brokers? What are the exact avenues that you're selling these leads to?
No, these are brokers. Actually tried with insurance companies, but they didn't want me to sell the lead to other sources, so that was a little bit of a problem. So I just went with brokers because they actually sometimes resell the leads, or they just sell policies to the leads, or so on. So yeah, right now they are brokers, insurance brokers.
Who are the brokers? I mean, are there people that people would recognize or
Yeah, well, one of them is I believe All Web Leads or US Leads, something like that. The company name.
okay, could you repeat that? Because I have one gentleman asking the same question repeatedly. I want to make sure it's being answered. Um, where are you selling the leads? The answer to where you're selling the leads are insurance brokers. Let's get more specific. What are some insurance brokers that you're selling them to?
Okay, some insurance brokers are, well, they actually have several landing pages, so it's a little bit difficult to say. But
Sure.
the main one is All Web Leads. And there is another one which was USA Leads as well.
Mm-hmm.
Then there is the other one which is bestquotes.com.
Do me a favor also, Jose, after this open house, I'd like you to send me just so I remember to mention it. The questions that have been asked here as far as where you're selling the leads, how you're getting the traffic and such. Go ahead and send me an email that addresses it via email, and everyone listening, I'll have access to the questions that are being asked here. I'll have the answers, so you can use that as a resource. Jose, does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. And everyone listening, Jose has been great about his response via email as far as detail and things of that sort. So looking forward to get that. That's helpful. I'm going to ask this question that came in a while ago. Thank you for being patient. Where are you mostly sending them? To what geos, devices? I see your website has a lot of traffic from Mexico. So a lot of that you've already addressed, but why don't you answer that again with a little bit more specificity?
Sure. Okay. Right now we are focusing on the USA. I mean, all the states of the USA. So we are not looking at exact devices or so because we want traffic. We do not care about split testing about devices. We do not care if they are mobile or desktop. But I mean, they just convert. I mean, that's the beauty of this. I mean, it doesn't matter if they are from a PC or from their mobile phone. They always convert. So also there are a little bit of details I want to only tell about them to the new buyer because of course they are a little bit of an edge. I mean, I don't want to reveal them to the public, of course, but I mean some of the details I have to say is that I do not
That's fine.
split.
We can get on a
split
call once we get down the road with an individual buyer. Obviously,
Absolutely.
it's a two-way street here. So that's helpful and that's good for now. Going to ask this question verbatim. Why are you manually adding the leads? Do your customers know that you are manually adding leads into their system? Why isn't it automated? Why isn't it automated?
Why not automated? Well, the first thing is that auto insurances are, well, these broker companies are a little bit special, you know. I mean, you will not get credited for all the leads. That's part of the business, I know. But they also play a little bit shady on the part that they will not pay you for certain leads, so that I have to play a little bit shady on the part that I have to sell them to several other companies, so so I can make money. I mean, that's that's how business is done here.
Okay. I'm getting they don't allow manual entry in the way that he has described. Can you describe again? Because I mean, is I don't understand. There seems to be a question whether you can do that or not. Can you re-describe how you're doing it?
Yeah, I mean, I get the lead information from the MySQL database, and once I have that lead information in a CSV page here, I go to the sites and I manually enter all the information to the insurance brokers.
Mm-hmm. Is an this I know the answer, but is that network of buyers included in the sale? People that who are buying the leads. Obviously, once we have a deal culminated, you're going to provide that. Is that correct?
Can you repeat the question? I mean,
You
I'm
have
not sure.
people who are buying the leads. You're going to be part of the sale is you're going to let these people know or let the buyer know who the buyers are. Make the introductions. I mean,
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean,
obviously.
yeah,
So
obviously, yeah.
wanted to make sure that that was clear. Moving on, the June revenue obviously is up because of what you described previously. Let's go into expenses. You're buying traffic. That's the main expense, and you've gone into what type of traffic you're buying. Anything else you'd like to talk about here as far as revenue or expenses?
Well, expenses are basically like 95% um, advertising, and the other 1% is hosting, which is $6 per month, which is really basically the expenses. There are no other expenses. I mean, that's basically it. Advertising and hosting.
Okay, and that yeah, I mean a lead aggregator. Yeah. So lead aggregator insurance, we're fine with that. Um, I'm looking here. So your customers, like all web leads, are aware that you are manually adding leads into their system on their website. Is is all web leads okay with that? Is that something you've talked to them about? Is that something that they're aware of?
Well, I am aware that they do not pay for all the leads. I mean, that's one thing I have to say. They play a little bit shady on the publishers. So actually, I bought some of the leads from all web leads to see how they reacted, you know, to see what was the quality with them. And actually, I was pretty surprised. It is really bad due to, I mean, their traffic sources are not great, but I decided not to tell them about this because it could be a little bit of a problem right there.
Okay.
But I mean, they are happy. I mean, they pay me, and that's everything that that goes on here.
Okay. Um, I'm just looking here. All right. So tell us about your day-to-day operations um, of the site. When some of this we've already touched upon. How many hours are you spending a day? What are you doing? Just walk us through an average day, please.
Yeah, okay, so an average day is all about inputting the leads into the insurance broker sites. That's part of the day. And also, the other part is the advertising one, which you will have to see how the landing pages work, how the ads work, and optimize them accordingly. Obviously, you will have to, you if you want, you can hire someone for them to input the leads, of course. But I mean, that's your decision. I decided to do it myself because I had several problems with virtual assistants in the past.
Okay. What would you do with it if you kept the site? What do you expect will happen?
If I were to keep the site, I would go to other insurance type of insurances like life, health, and so on. I believe it would be all about expanding horizontally and vertically. horizontally, obviously, in other types of insurances, and vertically, obviously, getting more capital to expand this business.
Why are you selling?
Am I selling? Because this is not exactly a business I would like to keep, because I want to focus on my health side, which is actually a passion of mine. I
Health
mean, I want
side?
to, yeah, I
Health.
want to,
Okay, got it.
yeah, basically, that's it. Actually, I sold a business before here with Latonas. It was about similar pattern here, but yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. I want to get rid of these businesses that actually are not exactly my passion, but I want to follow my passion, which is health.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, I've had a flurry of questions come in. Here's one. Um, what is the native ad network that you use? Also, why only one native network?
The ad network is content.ad.
Can you spell that, please?
Yeah, content.
Oh, content. I'm sorry. Could you repeat it? Content ad. What is it?
Content.ad.
Content.ad. That's clear. Okay. So why are you only using that one?
Well, because actually, I don't know. I started with content.ad, and it makes sense to to grow it there because of the I started banking there, so I decided just to stay there. I mean, obviously you could go with Taboola. I mean, there are other networks as well. So I mean, it was just my choice basically.
All right, that's clear. Everyone listening, we're wrapping up the webinar. Last call for questions and answers. There were quite a few people asking questions here, and I appreciate it. There's one that just came in. Um, does he manually? Yes. Oh, well, no, this wasn't really does he manually upload each individual lead, or is a spreadsheet uploaded? Does he shop each lead to all brokers or just one broker per lead? That's a great question. So, right. So are you, I mean, as far as the lead, you get 50 leads in. Are you sending all 50 at one time to each and every source? Are you going through the list and you're saying, I'm going to send this one individually to this one. I'm going to send this one individually to that one. Do you send each one individually to more than one source? Just re-describe that.
No, I mean, once I get like, as you said, 50 leads, I send all 50 leads to the to the eight companies basically.
All right. So the answer is you send one spreadsheet, all 50, to each and every broker. So you shop them all to all 50 and you send them as, say, 50 at a time. You don't manually enter each one individually.
Well, yeah, in a sense, it's correct. Yeah, obviously.
Okay. How long does it take for you to send 50 leads to one source? How much time?
If it leads to one source, it takes me around, I should say around like, I don't know. Sorry, I don't have the information right now. I haven't measured at that time. I mean,
Roughly? Hour?
roughly around an hour or so, probably.
Okay. All right. New question. I have used content.ad in the past. Ha- have you thought of Rev Content or My Likes, MJID for cheaper? Will that be more profitable? So the answer is, and I think you've answered it, you've always used content.ad. Is that correct?
That's correct. I have always used content.net, and that's where I do business.
I'm sure you've heard of Rev Content. I'm sure you've heard of My Likes. Have you ever used those? Have you ever thought of using those? Why haven't you? Is it just you're doing okay with content.ad?
Well, I have tried content.net, and that's basically what I do. I
Yeah.
have heard of obviously every other network.
Yeah.
I mean, luck, but I just have decided to stay with content.net. No need to pursue other networks. I mean, obviously, it's important to um, scale, buy more traffic from other sources, test, and see what's more profitable. But I just stayed with content.net.
Mm-hmm. New question. And thanks for asking the question, guys. So he's selling them on a non-exclusive basis to 8 companies. I don't, I know the answer, but do those 8 companies know they are being sold non-exclusively? You're sending these out to everybody to see who wants to buy one or the other. Are you selling one lead to multiple parties?
Yeah, I mean, the problem here is that, as I said, I bought leads from these several companies I actually sell them to see the quality of the leads. And the problem is that actually they buy from, you know, they do shady businesses, with the leads they are sold to. So, I mean, I think they are just as happy with my leads as with any other. Because, I mean, for example, I was in another business, I was with solar panels, and there was this company that I was buying leads from, which I was also selling leads to. And the problem is that these leads I bought, they were all spam to death. I mean, seriously, like I tried to call them actually, and they were or hanging me up or telling me stuff. I mean, being very aggressive on that side. So I decided just to go with the flow because actually my leads were actually generated through legit ways, but I I cannot make profit if I just send them to one company here.
All right. That's helpful. Jose, thank you. We're getting right up on a time. So, oh, I see. And thank you for the email that was sent. I actually have a couple questions here. Is there a contract in place with the 8 companies with terms? How is your $12 to $14 per lead price point established? It's, I guess, by the market, what the market will bear on it. But do you have a contract in place with the 8 companies with terms, meaning whenever they buy a lead, they follow that contract? And why is it 12 to 14 bucks?
No, there is no contract with these companies.
Okay. How is your 12 to $14 per price point established? How was that established? How is that decided and still decided?
Well, I will go a little bit bold here because I mean I want people to know because I mean these companies are there to make money for them. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so once they are making money for themselves, they don't care if the publisher is making money for himself. That's one thing I have to be clear about. So, I mean, for example, once I sell like 50 leads to one company, they usually I get created for around 20 to 40 leads. I mean, I will never get created for all 50 leads. Even though they will use all the 50 leads and they will sell them or sell their insurance policies to all 50 leads. I mean, that's part of this business, And that's why I'm selling the ad leads, all the 50 leads to these 8 companies
Okay.
because they pay dirty. I mean, I have to be a little bit more special about it. I mean, so yeah, I mean that's how things are here.
What type of advertisement are you doing with content data ad? And thank you, I got that answers it. What type of advertisement are you doing with content ad?
What do you mean type of advertising? I'm not sure. I mean, it's
How
display
are you,
advertising.
or are you doing any advertising through it?
Not sure what you mean by that.
Okay, I'll get
Can you explain a bit more?
speak about your relationship with content ad.
My relationship with content.ad?
Sorry, I offline speaking with someone. That's correct. What? Um, Go ahead and re-ask your question if you would. The person who asked that. Um, oh, non-commercial advert ad.
Advertorial, advertisement, and non-commercial, right?
Correct. Yeah, I'm sorry. You got it. The,
Yeah. Okay. I do obviously advertorial and advertisement. I do not do non-commercial because I mean this is not obviously commercial thing.
okay, that's helpful, and thank you for the follow-up question. I thank you. So, can you repeat that? You do advertorials.
Advertorial and
Yeah,
advertisement. Yeah.
got it. Okay. Let me know if that answered it. I see that that's everything. Everyone, a lot of great questions in, and quite a few people asking them. Um, I've got a prospectus on this. If you want a prospectus, here is my information. It's Adam Beebe. That's my phone number. That's my email address, and that's my Skype. Reach out to me directly, as I will make sure you have an NDA on file, and I can send you a prospectus immediately. Jose has already done, I think, 3 phone calls with different buyers. He's more than willing and able to schedule one-on-one calls. I know there was one party here who was at least one party here who's heavily into the insurance lead business and had some questions as far as the viability, and that's definitely something that I would like to have a phone call definitely with Jose if appropriate with the 3 of us. But reach out to me if you would, Jose. Thank you very much, not only for this but for your continued engagement. And everyone listening, this a recording of this will be available shortly. So, Jose, thank you for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you, Alan, for your time.
Take care.